angled his head toward a petty officer manning the diving planes, then looked at the young lieutenant in charge of the shift. "Officer of the deck, make surface profile 0. 10 degrees up angle, 2 knots. Dead slow." 15 minutes later, Rue barely bounced as his rubber boat skimmed along the smooth, oily sea. "Nice night for boating," he repeated inwardly to himself, grateful to have dodged the submerged egress and its claustrophobic hell in the torpedo tubes. Up here there was no wind, a flat sea, good visibility. The rubber boat was making a quiet 20 knots. Ideal conditions, really. The frogman cursed himself. No mission ever had ideal conditions. He and his 3 men, commandos of the Israeli Navy SEAL team equivalent known as Flotilla 13, were squatting on the rubber dinghy's sponsons as cool salt air rushed past them. Behind them, Tecumseh had already submerged in a frenzy of bubbles. Clad in shining black wetsuits and neoprene balaclavas, Rue felt that they were alone on the sea now, invisible in the dark. 2 racing kilometers on, he sensed a warmer shift in the air temperature and signaled his coxswain to stop. Almost immediately, the dinghy's way fell off and began to drift with the Mediterranean current. The man at the tiller killed the humming engine. All was quiet now, save for the sound of water lapping against the semi-rigid hull. "NVGs," the Flotilla 13 commander whispered to the chief petty officer next to him, his number 2. A moment later, Rue adjusted the night vision goggles over his forehead, waiting for them to warm up before scanning the beach. It looked empty, but looks could be deceiving. With an outstretched fist, he signaled his men to remain still, waiting, drifting. After another minute, the Flotilla 13 commander saw what he'd been looking for. Just beyond the surf line, a van slowed by the side of the road. The tall Mercedes Sprinter then did a 3-pointer and turned itself toward the sea. About 10 seconds after that, it blinked its headlights. Once, then a second time a beat later. Rue's pulse quickened. 1 blink would have meant mission scrub. 2 meant the op was a go. Retrieving an angled, waterproof flashlight from his combat harness, Rue blinked twice in reply to the van. He then tapped the chief on a knee and stowed his NVGs. The engine coughed back to life, and the dinghy surged forward. Much of the coast in this part of Lebanon was jagged rock, smashed by pounding surf. But they'd planned for landfall on the Ladies' Beach at the extreme edge of the Damour Beach Resort, just north of Sidon. With a strict night curfew on the female-only enclave, the Damour made for a good exfil point, provided they got back to it before sunup. Gunning the boat's engine into the back of a breaking swell, the coxswain finally cut power and pulled the engine up. With oars in hand, the men paddled the dinghy to catch the momentum of a roaring wave, then swiveled their legs over the sponsons. They raced in on white water until the keel skidded on sand. With well-oiled practice, the frogmen pulled the heavy boat ashore, lifting it by its handles, pausing now and then to rest. Once to the dunes, they kneeled beside it to extract their IWI assault rifles, spare magazines, and body armor from their rubber bladders. Finally, with weapons at their sides, they ran low and fast toward the Sprinter van. The driver, a woman in heels and skirt, helped stow the weapons in the Mercedes's overhead cargo area. The interior stayed dark since the dome lights had been disabled. Catching a glimpse of the woman in the spare moonlight, Rue thought the pretty brunette looked to be all of 20 years old. But then, he admitted to himself, the older he got, the younger they looked. He unzipped his wetsuit. Showing some modesty, the female intelligence officer slid behind the Sprinter's wheel as the men changed into the dry clothes that had been waiting for them. Once dressed in jeans and a polo, Rue got into the front passenger seat next to her. "How long?" he asked. The woman, a Mossad intelligence collection operative called a Katza, was busy typing a message on